Hello and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann.
So let's start with Pest Sherry Ann. Why don't you go first today?
Oh, okay. So physically, 8.7, emotionally, 8.8, spirit, 9.2, hope, 9.9. I wonder if I'll ever get to 10. And my word is excited. Your turn.
Okay, physically, I am a 7.5. Emotionally, I am an 8.5. Spiritually, I'm an 8, and hope is an 8.75. And my word is grace.
Mm, that's nice.
Yeah. So today we want to talk about what a great year it's been for us, but also what a great year and recognition it's been for us with 4 awards in
Yeah,
2024.
I know. 4 and 24, 24. Ah, and it started off with a bang.
Mhm.
And we got the award for Entrepreneur of the Year, which
Mhm.
I mean that's fine. International entrepreneur from great companies, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that felt good. I mean, being acknowledged as an entrepreneur, but I feel like I've transcended entrepreneurship, right? Because
Mhm.
we've been doing what we're doing for 12 years. And then prior to that, in 2007, I really started my work into the cancer world.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it felt great because it was like, wow, this is what the year's going to look like. Little did we know.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a curious, like, oh, entrepreneurs. But I mean, like any award, I'll take it.
Yeah, and it just speaks to the impact that we're having and that you're having. And I can see why you don't always feel like an entrepreneur because a lot of the work you're doing, it's not about building a business, it's about building this movement and this mindset. And I think you're so much more of a, not that you're more an educator than you are an entrepreneur, but I think your focus is a little bit more on like the education piece and like the concept and mission that we're bringing to everyone, especially the people that like come through us. We talk so much about what they get from us and what they get to experience and how we hope to change the landscape of the cancer world, that it's so much more than just being an entrepreneur and building this business and making money and doing all the numbers, which we, to be honest, neither of us love to do the numbers. More about the heart of it. And so that's what I think too. It's not that you're not an entrepreneur, just that word doesn't always resonate because that's not always your focus when it comes to this work.
Right. And entrepreneur to me sounds like singular, and I've never been singular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the beginning, yes, it was me, but I've always been communal. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I think that what we do has propagated itself so well because it is about the community and the people. And I felt like um, I was pretty alone and solo during my cancer journeys. It's not that I didn't have great support, I did, but nobody was inside my body. And everybody was like, oh, you're going to be fine. Oh, be happy, just coming from the outside, projecting what they wanted on me versus, hey, how are we feeling? And was there somebody there who said, I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking with you. I've been there. I mean, like that. And
Yeah.
I searched.
Yeah.
So that's why that singular word doesn't really fit. But, great beginning. Maybe it was following the trajectory of the cancer journey. No, it started singular. And then I brought in 2012 a business partner because that's when we really started the training.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything was being done by me. It was a lot of heavy lifting. Um, I remember doing 2 programs at the same time and thinking, "Oh my god, I'm only doing 2 programs at the same time. Why am I so tired? How am I gonna do this?" So
Mhm.
I knew that it needed to be more than me.
Mhm.
And bringing in Carrie Lehman in 2012 and establishing us as a training company was, oh, delight,
Yeah.
euphoria. I mean, just like, "I'm not doing this by myself."
Yeah. I mean, I think that's also like the story of CJI is that you felt like no one understood you and there was no one who was even listening and saying, that sucks. Like,
Mhm.
and just being with you on the like, this sucks train. Um, even though, you have a lot of positivity to you too, but there needs to be some just like, yeah, this is hard, kind of stuff to really know that someone's with you. If you didn't know already, if we haven't said it before, Sharian's number one strength, I believe, is family. So
My
community,
number 1 value.
your number one value, sorry, that's what I meant. Your number one value is family, which to me says how you really feel about community is that your community is your family and that you
Mhm.
hold them closely like that. So that makes so much sense to me and just the way that CGI has grown. It's like you needed people and you need people who understood you and you need people who also want what you want, which is to make sure that no one has to go through cancer without someone by their side. In the way that many people have had to, and it's not something that is required of the cancer journey necessarily. So so that brought you here and started off our 2024, and then you were honored as the American Lung Association's Outstanding Mother of the Year, one of I think five honorees, right? But that was so that recognition too was so wonderful, and we had like people from our own community that brought us into there, and still got to have this beautiful recognition and this community. Like it was fun because it was like a panel of women. It wasn't any like singular focus like you're the mother of the year. It's like we all like everyone on the panel has done something special and was getting recognized.
Yeah, it was the diversity and it was the individual accomplishments, but then they stood up there and they said, "I couldn't have done this alone," which is absolutely true. And I'm using the Mother Award as a metaphor because you just said it. It's like I, fa- me, and family.
Hmm.
And I remember when you went away to college in 2012,
Hmm.
and you said, "But you have your coaches." And
Hmm.
so it made it easier to redirect my attention on, our family, even though we still had your brother here, our family, and then doing kind of that little pivot of, "Oh, right. And here's the coach family,"
Hmm.
which I have to make a plug for coaching. I mean, it is one of the warmest, most welcoming, non judgmental, open community I have ever been in.
Hmm.
And so when I first entered into it, it was like, "Oh my God, there's this place where I get to be me and people accept me just as I am."
Hmm.
And then creating this container called the Cancer Journey Institute, where we got to bring in the cancer individuals, whether they were patients or survivors, thrivers, or caregivers, to say, "Come to this community so that you could feel connected, whole, unjudged, loved up." Just there's healing that happens just being in an environment like that. That's
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember at the time when I left for college, you and dad were both very worried about being empty nesters and what are we gonna do? Um, Obviously they did not fall into that pit of being empty nesters and not knowing what to do, and there was plenty more purpose outside of me and my brother. So I think that that was a big piece of it. I think that you were able to like expand your vision and say, wait, of course, I have all this family here that you get to be mother to, that you get to, I mean, your purpose essence is fierce love. If that's not like in alignment with being the concept even of like a mother, not necessarily like, having a child being a mother, but like mothering is just fierce love, right? Like I don't know anyone that would disagree with that really. Um so I think that you were able to really re-aim that and get to be in that space, especially when you won the award for outstanding mother of the year, and you got to like hold that mothering space and that fierce love for everyone. Like you really had time to, from what I remember the conversations we had, really like be expansive about what that meant to you and
Right.
really be in that place during that time, because it's more than just being an outstanding mother to myself and my brother
Right.
and the dog.
Right. Well, yes, and the dogs, because they are family. Um, what I want to say is that besides being fierce love, like absolutely, I think people who know me go, "Oh yeah, that's what I get with you." It's nice to put it out there and be loud with it, so that I just keep owning it. But
Mhm.
I'm also Mama Bear, so it wasn't a surprise that I got Outstanding Mother of the Year award by the American Lung Association. It was kind of like, okay, how can I look at that? So it's Mama Bear, but then there's also this breathing when I think of lungs, and so when I really internalize it and go, okay, what does this award mean to me? It just means that I'm recognized for loving people in my authenticity and my desire to want everyone to feel safe. I mean, and so the mama bear and the fierce love just kind of encompasses that to me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and then our next award, which is a little sway away from
This is
motherhood,
feeling shameless now.
but it's like we started talking about awards. We have to go to all of them. So the next one we got, which was I believe at the beginning of October, was Success Magazine's. We are one of their 2024 finalists for Changemakers, or their Changemaker finalists. It's a lot of words, but I think Success Magazine, first of all, is just a big deal. And then to be a change maker of the year with so many wonderful other people too who were among the finalists. Again, just showing how wide our impact is growing and how recognized we are being for this movement. It's a really big movement. It's really something that a lot of people don't consider when they think about cancer, right? We still get the like um what is it? The sad eyes, the look that's like,
Right. The pity
oh,
face.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Whenever cancer comes up, and it's like, I think it's an automatic reaction for people because they don't always know. It kind of immediately tells them to like tread lightly and I don't know, be sad and be like, oh, I had an aunt with cancer, like which I understand that being the initial reaction, but typically anyone who's going through a cancer experience, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Right. Right. I
And they
mean, there's a lot. I mean, there are a lot of times where people go, "Isn't it hard doing this work?" And I'm like, actually, no, because we provide the additional hope,
Mhm.
especially when somebody has none, when they're feeling hopeless.
Yeah.
So it's not us trying to lift people up. It is I think this is one of my favorite words. It's the realness
Mhm.
of humanity.
Mhm.
And if we can continue to just show up in this with all the tools and concepts and the frameworks that we've built for people to have structure,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, this exists. And yes, I might be going through the most devastating event in my life, but I'm not alone. I've
Mhm.
got people who understand this, people who will walk with me, in addition to my wonderful support group, but people who have a way to go through it so that I can actually come out on the other end, not depleted, exhausted, and lost,
Mhm.
but whole and excited and feeling like there is a purpose and a place for me.
Yeah.
And I know that not everybody survives. Those statistics are changing rapidly right now, but there is kind of this turning point, and whether that is the release of the human body or just that breakthrough that someone gets through, it is magical and spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that yes, cancer is really hard to approach in terms of conversation, especially like a casual conversation, but by having those like harder conversations or just asking the questions and um giving people an easy out, if they don't want to talk about it, but to just be clear that you are there for them. It's exactly what you were looking for at the beginning of your cancer journey when you felt really alone, which really prompted you to start this business and this company, is because no one knew how to approach you. They did the pity face, they did, the my aunt has cancer too thing. And it's like that doesn't resonate with the person who's going through it, or even the person who's helping them out. So there's just a different way to approach cancer overall, and to really be
Hmm.
there with someone, um even in smaller spurts. And so like right now what we're teaching really is like we're training coaches to coach people and have those conversations, but we're also, connecting with a lot of our partners and going into different cancer centers and organizations, and um, bringing cancer journey coaching and what that conversation is and what that technique is to that community. So that way, as we expand more and more, the conversation around cancer becomes not about like, oh, I'm sorry, that sucks, like my own cancer, but it's more about, okay, and you still have so much impact here. Maybe you're tired, but wherever you need to be is completely okay. And wherever you need to
Right.
be, whatever you need from me, please let me know. I'm happy to be there to, help you along or even just listen to you. But um what we're hoping for with all the work we're doing is to just change the conversation and not make
Yes.
other people feel so alone.
And that's why the Change Maker Award from Success Magazine, just, I mean, if we track it, right, it's like it starts here. It started with the entrepreneur, then the mothering, and then now it's like success. I just have this little. I didn't bring the magazine. We'll put it out there. But Success Magazine has been around for 127 years, and they have like millions of subscribers. And so they're netting this down to 25 of us
Hmm.
who they classify as the change maker this year. And it's like, yes, we're making changes this year, but it's more the established. they're they're good. They're vetted. We they opened their kimono, we looked at their underwear. It's a terrible analogy. But we know who they are, and we stand behind them holding up the sign of these people.
Hmm.
These people.
There's a lot of trust that comes from the
Yes.
recognition. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least, we did get this great honor from the International Coaching Federation, which is, the big dogs, the ones that really run and validate and verify coaches, and the coaching practice. They are kind of like that overarching um, head of coaching. I mean, internationally, they are not just in the States, they are international. Yeah.
Yes. And I just came back from Greece to accept the award. Been dying, everybody, all of the winners this year, and there was 10 of us. We're just dying to shout it from the hilltops, but we signed an NDA, and so we had to wait till Monday, which I was still traveling, so that wasn't going to happen for me. But thank you guys for putting it out there. Um, I met so many beautiful, wonderful people all over the world, from all over the world, who won this award. And so I felt like in this wonderful company, but it said to me, you did it.
Mhm.
You built something. It's not a uh, just an idea. It's not a hobby. You built something that is making a huge difference out there, and that we really adhere not to just a concept of coaching, but to the profession of coaching,
Yeah.
which means that not only are we impactful, but we're professionals. And
Yeah.
I hold that so proudly because I think we've built this incredible body of work. We've had incredible impact. We've got phenomenal coaches out there globally. And I'm just so proud of us. I'm
Yeah.
proud of, and I want to kind of shout out to our team that's been with us, that started with Carrie and I, and then we brought in Georgia, and then we had, oh my goodness, I don't want to forget anybody, but Mary Coughlin, April Bruder, Kathy, Eder, you. I feel like I'm Kimberly Lightning. Who am I forgetting? I mean, and then all the coaches, over 100 of coaches,
Yeah.
um, all over. I mean, that I can't name. I'll forget for sure, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal to be recognized by the ICF, and our courses are approved and accredited by the ICF, so especially our certification, but also by the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches. But this recognition, which by the way is it's the 2024 Coach Impact Awards, so that's what the like general overarching awards are. But what Sherry received was the Emerging Coach Educator, so really a highlight on the educational component that we bring, which as we said a little earlier, is the part that really resonates with Sherry a little bit more than entrepreneur, though she is both, she's all of them. But it's such a big recognition. So with your acceptance speech here, it feels right, and it feels perfect in the way that we're headed. We want to continue to make this amazing impact as a coaching business, and to um build on this movement and bring it even more widely to the world. And so by having all these recognitions of the like positive impact we're making and continue to make, we can only grow from here. And other institutions that need some sort of validation because they don't see it immediately or understand what we're doing immediately because it's new, it's fresh. I tell this to Sherry all the time, like, this is not something that's been done before, especially for the cancer community. So it can be really difficult to stand on our platform and say this is important, because if people haven't seen it before, it makes it really difficult for them to really embrace that change. And if they can't see proof, right? Like many people, they just want to see and understand the proof. The proof is in the relationships that are developed, and it's a lot more of the emotional intelligence and the mental health. So a lot of that becomes really hard to measure and really hard to be seen. I mean, we're working on ways to really solidify that data for ourselves so we can share it more widely, but it does take our community being as open and loving and understanding as they are to do this work and help us bring it more to the larger community out there that frankly needs it.
Right. It's one community that the numbers don't go down every year. They just keep going up exponentially.
Mhm.
Worldwide, I know that it's over 10 million new diagnoses each year. That's each year, and it keeps going up. And that's ridiculous. I was asked during the celebration in Greece, like, so how many coaches do you have, and what do you need? And I'm like, I need 1 million coaches because we've got 10 million new diagnoses worldwide, right? So we need the people out there walking alongside these patients, but not just the patients. There's still the survivor thrivers
Mhm.
who may physically be done with their cancer journey, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, maybe not done yet. Need some hand holding, need some support, some frameworks. And then there's the caregivers. Oh my God, the unsung heroes, the caregivers who are like, okay, this is my beloved, this is my patient going through this. What about me? And they don't ask.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. But there's so many of them. For every patient, just imagine there's at least one caregiver.
Hmm.
So if we're talking 10 million each year being diagnosed, then we need 10 million more, you know, coaches
Yeah.
to support this.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's
I think it's
mm,
hard to come across anyone who hasn't had cancer touch their lives in some way, shape, or form. And I think that cancer in general, right? Like, everyone who gives you the pity face and all that, like they don't know what to say and they don't know what to do because it's a hard place to approach really for anyone. And um I think that when people have cancer in their lives, whether they recognize it right away or not, there are brakes put on. They put on brakes to, you know, slowing down, yes, but sometimes they stop, come to a full stop on certain things in their life. And yes, some things need to pause, some regular routines will pause, but there comes a point when you need to recognize what that pause is and if you want to stay there, because only you have the power to make the change in your lives. And sometimes you need a little inspiration to do that and to know that there is a way to keep moving forward. And so that's really what we're telling everyone, is that there's still a way to move forward no matter how much time we have in this world. All of our times are limited, whether we actively have cancer or do not. But the only time you have choice is now, in the present moment, and you get to choose to live, and you get to choose to include joy into your life, or community into your life, or um really truly anything you want, that like you really deeply want, you can have that still. You can have that maybe in different forms, but you can still have those things instead of feeling like cancer has cut everything off in your life. So instead of the battle, right, and that whole like fighting cancer and um surviving cancer and being a warrior, we very much want everyone to feel like you're on this journey with cancer. And cancer, it doesn't define you, but it can be a part of your life right now. And so you can walk hand in hand with it, and find that middle ground for yourself of like where you get to still have your cancer, have that part of your life, and still also continue to move forward.
yes. Like life does not end, even though it feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
I just can I that what you just said was brilliant. And I forgot to mention somebody. So just kind of like a PS at the bottom. And our other team member, Nelsa Bross.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've had so many coaches who've like worked more deeply with us in the business side, and our coaches who lead our programs too. Um, we continue to create.
Oh, right. We could go on and on and
We could go
on,
on and on.
right?
We could name every single coach and all the many things that we do, and we'd love to name every single one of our coaches. They definitely, especially our certified coaches, they are on our website there. Um, but there, we couldn't say for 1 second that we achieved any of this singularly.
Yes.
Not
Thank you
myself,
for
not
saying that.
Sherry Ann. Like, this has always been a team effort. And even when Sherry Ann started, it's always been about the connection to the people and to anyone whose lives have been touched by cancer. Like, it has always been about the community and growing that, and really, really not letting anyone go on a cancer journey without the same support, because no one has to suffer that way, knowing that we have these resources. So you know we're deeply passionate about this because we don't want anyone to have to experience what we've experienced with that
Right.
struggle and feeling alone and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't, you don't need to go through it alone. You can still go through it, all those emotions, but you don't have to feel alone in a hole, like by yourself about
You said it.
it.
That's a mouthful. So takeaway. What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is that while it is really fun to say that we've gotten all these awards and achievements, it lights a fire under me to um not only come back and have this moment where we get to like be really passionate about what we do and like see the big picture, because I mean I personally don't always see the bigger picture. I'm working in all of the details of what we do, but to take a step back and really appreciate and feel so incredibly grateful for the recognition that is coming through, and let that fuel the fire too, to see what we can become and really continue to like visualize the impact we can continue to have.
Yeah.
And my word is expanding.
Mm. My takeaway is it just starts, with one thought, with one idea, and then bravery of like, just do it. I could think of another word other than brave, but let's be kind to myself. Bravery. And then if it's authentic and it's true to who you are, then stick with it. And I'm saying that to myself even now because I do feel the expansion. I do feel the growth. I do feel like we're at the precipice of the next wave. And I don't know what that is. I'm excited about it. And I'm virtually linking my arms with the whole team, all the coaches, all our coach leaders, and going, okay, guys, everybody ready? Because we're going to need all of you and so much more. And let's go.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway, that kind of the linking of the arms. And my word is community. There is no other way this could have happened. And I'm so touched and so grateful for everyone who's in our community.
Yeah. We're trailblazing.
Yes,
All
there we
together.
go.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. New episodes every Friday, so we'll see you next week.
And remember, you're more powerful than you think you are.